Oh, someday, my dear STEM Legend learners, how are you? Welcome to another adventurous and educational episode for Quarter 3 here in Senior High Tech TV. I feel so blessed that you're all here and ready for another amazing learning journey today. I am Teacher Ernest, and together, let's discover life in the exciting world of biology. If you are ready to learn, please behave, listen, and take note of the important concepts of our lesson for today.
It's trivia time!
Did you know that Carl Linnaeus, or also known as Carl von Linné or Carolus Linnaeus, is often called the father of taxonomy? His system for naming, ranking, and classifying organisms is still wide use today, with many changes. His ideas on classification have influenced generations of biologists during and after his own lifetime, even those opposed to the philosophical and theological roots of his work. Are you excited for another wonderful biological science adventure? Let's start! Before we start, let's have an activity entitled Guess the Word. Here are the mechanics of the activity. I will show you a word with a missing letter and accompanied by its corresponding picture. Guess the word in 10 seconds. Write your answer in the comment section below. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Number 1. You're right. The correct answer is Monera. Number 2. Very good. The correct answer is Protista. Number 3. Correct. The answer is fungi. Number 4. You're right. The answer is plant. And number 5. Very good. The answer is animal.
The answer to this activity are called the 5 Kingdoms of Classification. Amazing, my dear intelligent learners. Let us discuss this further, so stay focused and don't go away.
Our lesson for today is distinctive characteristics of specific taxon relative to other taxa. And for the learning competency, identify the unique or distinctive characteristics of a specific taxon relative to other taxa. At the end of the lesson, you're expected to define classification, differentiate kingdom Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia, and describe the unique or distinctive characteristics of a specific taxon relative to other taxa.
Let's play another game entitled Classify Me. Here are the mechanics of the game. I will flash pictures on the screen. Classify the things being asked according to their characteristics. I will give you 5 seconds to answer. Write your answer in the chat box below. Are you ready? Let's start!
Number 1. They are commonly autotrophs, or they produce their own food through the process of photosynthesis. Is it Monera or is it Plantae? You got it right. The answer is Plantae. Number 2. They have higher levels of organization, which allows them to perform many complex functions. Is it Animalia or is it Protista? Absolutely. The correct answer is Animalia. Number 3. They are the most primitive group of organisms and most abundant of all. Is it Monera or is it Protista? Correct. The answer is Monera. Number 4. They are a group of organisms that are found everywhere. It includes mushrooms, yeasts, and molds. Is it Plantae or is it fungi? Definitely, the answer is fungi. And number 5. They are the primary producers in the aquatic ecosystem and are responsible for serious human diseases like malaria. Is it Monera or is it Protista? If your answer is Protista, then you are correct.
Congratulations for getting the perfect score. For those who are not, you can make it again next time. This morning, we will discuss about the distinctive characteristics of a specific taxon relative to other taxa. Are you familiar with the classification of organisms? If not, join me and let's study together the unique characteristics of each kingdom. Classification of organisms on the basis of certain characters like mode of nutrition, thallus organization, cell structure, phylogenetic relationships, and reproduction simplifies the study of wide variety of organisms. In biology, classification is the establishment of hierarchical system of categories on the basis of presumed natural relationships among organisms. The science of biological classification is commonly called taxonomy. R.H. Whitaker proposed the 5 kingdom of classification in 1969. This classification includes 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Number 1 is Kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera is considered as the most primitive groups of organisms, and Moneras are most abundant of all. It generally comprises unicellular organisms with a prokaryotic cell organization and lack of well-defined cell structures, including the nucleus and other cell organelles. Cyanobacteria, Archaebacteria, Mycoplasma, and bacteria are few members of this kingdom. Here are the general features of Moneras.
Monerans are present in both aerobic and anaerobic environment. Some have rigid cell walls, while some do not. The membrane-bound nucleus is absent in monerans. Monerans are found everywhere in hot or thermal springs, in the deep ocean floor, under ice, in deserts, and also inside the body of plants and animals. They can be autotrophic. They can synthesize food on their own, while some others have heterotrophic, saprophytic, parasitic, symbiotic, commensalistic, and mutualistic as mode of nutrition. Locomotion is with the help of flagella. Circulation is through diffusion. Respiration in these organisms vary. Few are obligate aerobes, while some are obligate anaerobes and facultative anaerobes. Reproduction is mostly asexual, and few also reproduce by asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is by conjugation, transformation, and transduction. Asexual reproduction is by binary fission.
Number 2 is Kingdom Protista. Protists are unicellular eukaryotic organisms. This kingdom forms a link between other kingdoms of fungi, plants, and animals. Many species of this kingdom are the primary producers in the aquatic ecosystem, and some are responsible for serious human diseases like malaria. General features of Kingdom Protista are as follows.
They are simple, unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Most of the protists live in water, some in moist soil or even in the body of human and plants. These organisms have a membrane-bound nucleus, endomembrane systems, mitochondria for cellular respiration, and some have chloroplasts for photosynthesis. Nuclei contain multiple DNA strands, and number of nucleotides is significantly less. Cellular respiration is the primary aerobic process, but some living in the moist soil underneath ponds or in digestive tracts of animals are facultative anaerobes. Locomotion is often by flagella or cilia. Nutrition includes both heterotrophic and autotrophic. Some reproduce sexually and others asexually. Some protists are pathogen of both plants and animals. Example, Plasmodium falciparum causes malaria in humans.
Number 3 is Kingdom Fungi. Fungi are group or organisms that are found everywhere from air, water, land, and to the soil. They are also found in plants and animals. Some fungi are microscopic and appear like plants. They are in fact closely related to animals. Fungi have great economic importance and show a great diversity in morphology and habitat. Kingdom fungi include mushrooms, moths, yeasts, puffballs, rusts, moths, truffles, morels, and molds. General features of fungi are as follows.
Fungi are eukaryotic, non-vascular, and non-motile organisms. The growth rate of fungi is lower than that of bacteria. Fungi grow best in acidic environments. Fungi consist of both unicellular, such as yeasts, molds, and multicellular, such as mushrooms. Like plant cells, fungi have cell walls made up of complex sugar molecules called chitin, but unlike plants, they do not undergo photosynthesis. The cell wall is composed of chitin. The vegetative body of the fungi may be unicellular or composed of microscopic threads called hyphae. They have a heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Few species are saprophytes. They feed on dead and decaying organic matters. Some fungi are parasitic while some are symbionts. They can live in a symbiotic relationship with algae like blue-green algae. These are called lichens. Reproduction in fungi is both sexual and asexual means. Asexual reproduction takes place by means of spores, and sexual reproduction takes place by means of gametic copulation, somatic copulation, and spermatization.
Number 4 is the plant kingdom. Plants are autotrophs. They produce their own food. They are primary producers in many ecosystems, giving them a vital role in the survival of many other organisms. The production of oxygen as byproduct of photosynthesis support life processes of other organisms. The general features of plants are as follows.
Plants are multicellular organisms with eukaryotic cells. Plant cells are distinguished by their cell walls containing cellulose, chloroplasts that perform photosynthesis, and a large central vacuole that holds water and keeps the plant turgid. Many plants have a vascular tissue such as xylem and phloem that carries water and nutrients throughout the plant. Plants reproduce both sexually and asexually and have what is known as alternation of generations.
And number 5 is animal kingdom. The animal kingdom is the largest kingdom amongst the 5 kingdoms, consisting of all animals. Animals are multicellular eukaryotes and heterotrophic. Besides, these similarities are also related to their cell arrangement, body symmetry, and level of organization, xylem, and presence or absence of notochord. The general features of animals are as follows.
Higher levels of organization, which allow animals to perform many complex functions. Animals can detect environmental stimuli such as light, sound, and touch. The stimuli are detected by sensory nerve cells. The information is transmitted and processed by the nervous system. The nervous system in turn may direct body to respond. All animals can move. Muscles and nerves work together to allow movement. Being able to move lets animals actively search for food and mates. It also helps them escape from predators. Animals have internal digestion of food. Animals consume other organisms and may use special tissues and organs to digest them.
Did you enjoy the classification of organisms? Yes! That's great, learners! I hope you enjoy and appreciate how organisms are being classified. Now, you have learned the unique or distinctive characteristics of a specific taxon relative to other taxa. Why is classification of organisms important? I will give you 25 seconds to comment your answer on the chat box. Very good! Organisms are usually grouped together based on their unique characteristics. The classification of organisms often provides useful information about its evolutionary history and which other organisms are related to it. Now, we have already discovered the unique or distinctive characteristics of a specific taxon relative to other taxa. Before we end our discussion, let us evaluate your understanding by answering this multiple choice activity. Choose the correct answer from each question. Bring out your pen and twist notebook. Are you ready?
Number 1. Which of the following organisms is an example of protists? Letter A, bacteria. Letter B, crabs. Letter C, euglena. And letter D, yeast. You're right. The answer is letter C, euglena. Number 2. Fern is an example of kingdom blank. Letter A, Animalia. Letter B, Monera. Letter C, Plantae. And letter D, Protista. You're right. The answer is letter C, Plantae. Number 3. The most primitive group of organisms are blank. Letter A, Animalia. Letter B, Monera. Letter C, Plantae. And letter D, Protista. If your answer is letter B, Monera, then you are correct. Number 4. The largest kingdom amongst the 5 kingdoms is blank. Letter A, Animalia. Letter B, Monera. Letter C, Plantae. And letter D, Protista. You're right. The answer is letter A, Animalia. And number 5. Which of the following kingdoms are the primary producers in the aquatic ecosystem and are responsible for serious human diseases? Letter A, Animalia. Letter B, Monera. Letter C, Plantae. And letter D, Protista. Absolutely. The correct answer is letter D, Protista.
To sum up, classification allows us to understand diversity better. It helps us in the identification of living organisms as well as in understanding the diversity of living organisms. Classification helps us to learn about different kinds of plants and animals, their features, similarities, and differences. Congratulations, learners! I hope you learned a lot today. Once again, I am your energetic teacher saying, eagerness to learn will lead you in the fulfillment of your dreams. See you in the next episode.